Hi friends! In today's tutorial, I'll show you how to make this beautiful tulip quilt block using just your embroidery machine. It comes in multiple sizes that you can get on my Patreon page for free. This is the 5-inch one, and this one's the easiest one to do because all the measurements are done in the embroidery machine. Now, if you're a little more advanced and you would like a bigger blocks, I do have a 6-inch one, and this is my 8-inch one, and this one's a little different because you make all of this in the embroidery hoop right here, and then you attach these triangles on it as well with the embroidery machine, but then you take it out and you have to do a little bit of measuring to get it into the perfect 8-inch block. And then this is my largest one that I offer, so I do have a 9-inch one that goes between this. So I have a 6-inch one that goes between these two sides and a 9-inch one between these two sizes, but this is my 10-inch one. But again, just like before, you have to do some measurements here. If you want to do something super easy, start here with this one because all the measurements is done for you. It is so fun, and we'll walk through both the one that's fully made in the hoop with the measurements, and then I'll also show you how to do the measurements yourself if you're going to do a bigger block. So let's begin. I'm going to first make the 5-inch block using my 5 by 7-inch hoop. So what you want to do is choose the one that works best for your machine, and you want to put tearaway stabilizer in your hoop. Load the correct file to your machine, insert your embroidery hoop into the machine, and run the first stitch. This will be the placement stitch for your design. The first shape we're going to look at is this one right here, this square in the center right here. And I'm going to go traditional with this route. So I'm just going to eyeball it. So I got some fabric right here. Let me zoom out real quick so you can see what I'm doing. So yeah, I just got some fabric, and I'm going to just like kind of eyeball this shape and just make sure that my square is bigger than that square. So here we go. So as you can see, it's definitely bigger. So I'm going to take this over to my machine, hold it down while it does its first tack down stitch. Grab your applique scissors and carefully trim around the stitched square. Keep your cuts close to the stitch line, but don't cut the stitches. The curved blade helps you stay smooth and precise without snipping into the stabilizer. The next area we're going to look at is this square right here. Let me zoom in real quick so you can see it. Oh, sorry, that was out. Okay, so it is right here. Okay, so it's right next to this square, so it's the second square. Then the next one that's going to be this one. But the line I want you to focus on is this one right here. So we're just going to eyeball it again. So we're just going to eyeball this, make a little cut. And we want to give ourselves some extra one here because we have to flip it. So this is right side up. I forgot to say that, okay? So when you lay this first square down, make sure the fabric is right side up. This next one and all the preceding ones, we do wrong side facing up first, and we take it, and I'm gonna zoom in one more time so you can see it. So here's the line. We're gonna make sure that we hold it all the way past that line. And I'm just gonna hold it like this, and there's gonna be a double stitch right here. After that double stitch, we are going to fold it over like that, and then it's going to do another stitch like that. Now you can see that I have way too much fabric, so I'm just going to cut, I'm going to trim this a little bit, okay? I'm going to trim it a little bit more, I think. You can always trim it afterwards too. There you go. This is perfect right here, okay? So I'm going to take it to the machine and do that. Because this is such a small design, I'm actually going to trim this right here because we don't want that much extra space, okay? I'm going to trim this a little bit too. If you're using one of the bigger designs, you can probably be more accurate. All right, so the next one is going to be this rectangle. So again, we're just going to eyeball it with my scrap right here. Something like that probably, okay? And what I'm going to do is look at this one line right here, and I'm just going to lay it like that, about right to there. And I'm gonna let it do its double stitch. Once it's double stitched, then I'm gonna fold it over and do the final stitch right there that will tack it down. Remember, wrong side facing up first. Then when you fold it over, the right side is facing up. Carefully trim around the stitch rectangle. Repeat this process for all the remaining shapes. Place each fabric piece wrong side up, making sure it extends past the stitch line. Run the next tack down stitch, then fold the fabric over so the right side is up. Press it flat with your fingers and run the next stitch to secure it in place. If you're making the 5-inch block, you'll need to cut out 4 triangles for the outer corners. You can simply eyeball the size, no need for exact measurements. Place each triangle wrong side up just like before, making sure it extends past the edges. Then use your embroidery machine to stitch them down and repeat the fold and tack process. Now remove the design from the hoop. Grab your ruler and line it up with the outer stitch line, leaving a 1/4 inch seam allowance on all sides. Use a rotary blade to trim around the block. This will give you a perfect 5-inch quilt block ready to piece into your project. I am all done with the 5-inch tulip quilt block. So now let's make a larger version using the measuring step at the end. I'll speed through the construction since it's the same process as before, and then slow down to walk you through the final step, which is where things change. With this method, we have to do a little bit of measuring ourselves. And so I want you to grab a ruler. So here is my ruler. And you're just gonna measure this line right here, or any of these lines, because they're all equal because it's a square. So if I put this down here, I wanna make sure it's as straight as possible. Okay. And so it is about 5, excuse me, 5 3/4. I'm just gonna round it up straight to 6. Okay, so I want to make 6-inch square. So what I'm gonna do is grab my piece of fabric, which is right here, and I'm gonna see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay, this is perfect. Okay, and I need my ruler. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So go like this. And then I need another one because I need to make 4 squares. So here comes another one. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's better to measure up than down, I would say. It's better to have more fabric than less. And I do want these to be pretty perfect squares. So I'm gonna go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just gonna take a sliver of this off that. And then I'm going to actually cut on the diagonal. So I just go like this. Match my 2 points up to that line. This part doesn't have to be absolutely perfect because you will be sewing it. Okay. So there are 2 triangles right there, and I'm going to do the same thing here. I have to make the first line we are going to sew is this one right here. It goes up and down just like that. So grab your triangle piece, wrong side facing up, and basically the first thing I'm gonna have you do is line it to that line and then move it past it just a bit. And then eyeball the center. It doesn't have to be perfect. And all you're gonna do is sew it. Now we're gonna do it to the other side. So it's gonna go up and down. So it does parallels first, okay? Before we do this line, on this line, we're gonna open these up. And just give it a finger press. Grab your other triangle, wrong side facing down. Line it up to this one and run the next stitch. Now we're gonna do this final line right here. So I'm gonna make sure that this stays down. We definitely don't want that to unfold. Wrong side facing up. Just like so. Remove it from the hoop. And I'm just gonna do a quick little tearaway, just the outer part of the design, the tearaway stabilizer. You will need a ruler for this next step. And what we want to do is have our design up. So give it a couple finger presses. And I am going to move this in the corner like that. Okay. You can see that we're definitely going to do a trim job for sure. All right. So what I like to do is find the center. And I use one of these grids to help me. And I just want to make sure that this is lining up. So I'm using this grid right here to help me make sure that all of this is as centered as possible. So I'm using this right here and this right there. And as you can see, this needs to be turned a little bit this way. Okay. So I have this corner with the half right there, this corner with the half right there, okay? Now I'm gonna find this corner and I'm gonna use my 1/4 seam allowance right there. And I'm gonna go to where the outer 2 triangles meet. And I'm gonna go past 1/4, just like so. And I'm going to match them to my grid line. So about right there. And then I'm gonna cut it. Okay. Then I'm gonna turn it around, just like before. I'm gonna line it up like that. I wanna make sure that my where the triangles meet are lined up. Okay, that looks good. This one needs to be a little more to the side. Okay, good. And then I'm going to do a 1/4 from here. Oops. Okay, that looks good. You want to be as precise as possible for this step. All right, I'm going to line this line up here with that line right there. I want to see how well they look together. Good enough. And then go past 1/4 right here. I'm making sure that I have my ruler the correct way. There we go. And then this looks like 1/4. This looks like 1/4. Okay. Oops. Let's see. I'm gonna keep shifting it a little bit. And then I have one more square to do. So I'm gonna go like this. Okay. All right. Pass this. 1/4. 1/4. That looks good. All right. So then that is my square right there. Let's see how well I did. Yep, 8.5. So that gives you a 1/4 inch seam allowance on all sides. So when you sew it into a quilt or a table runner, you will have a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So yeah, there is a little cutting on this one that the machine doesn't do for you, but I did that because I wanted to give you as many large sizes as possible. So it's super easy to do if you know what you're doing. So just follow along with what I was doing there. Let me show you the other sizes real quick. So this is the 8-inch square block for the tulip. This is the 5-inch square block for the tulip. And I'm gonna spread this around because this is the 10-inch square for the tulip. So you can just see that the sizes kind of show it there. And I also have a 9-inch one too, but I did not make one to show you here. So again, if you're doing the 5-inch one, you don't have to do any measurements because you have this line from the embroidery machine that guides you on how to do the 1/4. So what you do is like you use the ruler and line it up to this right here with a 1/4 seam allowance. These ones, because they're so big, you have to do a little math by using these corners right here. I'm gonna go and press this, but other than that, it is quite easy to do. Thanks for watching. This design is free on my Patreon. Check the link below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more creative fun.